he knows what the fuck he's talking about. So appreciate you taking some time
There's
out.
just so many people that don't.
That's why we fucking have to have the show. You think I like doing the show? Like, I fucking hate.
I just don't think he has it anymore.
Melo's the role he didn't want in Oklahoma.
Carmelo Anthony drills it straight away.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Control the Narrative. 61. Again, not at 62 yet, but 61 is important because if you remember when Melo scored 62 points against the Bobcats in 2014, I hope I'm fucking right, 2014 or 2015. The week after, LeBron went out and scored 61, and everybody was making this huge deal about it. LeBron scored 61 points when Melo scored 62 the week before. So, 61, when I see 61, that's what I think of. Also, if you don't know who we are, we're a podcast that controls the narrative that the media creates. If you're new around here, subscribe to our YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts to catch our weekly podcast. And if you're a local around here, we appreciate your attention as always. The guest on the show, 61st show today, is a man by the name of Zaid. Zaid, what's going on, bro?
Yo, what up, man?
Not much, man. We were just talking a little off camera about how, I don't really know you like that, but I always see you in the replies and the comments and shit. I'm like,
yeah.
I need to get this guy on because he fucking knows what the hell he's talking about. So appreciate you taking some time out.
Of course.
No doubt, man. Yo, let's get into especially for people who are on the first time. Why don't you give us 60 seconds of how you started in Melo, how you got into basketball, just the history of your fandom, and then one thing we always need to know is what you think the most underrated Melo moment or game was and why.
Well, I really started watching basketball in 2010, actually liking it so much and everything. I watched before and all, but 2010 was when I actually started liking it. Then Melo went to the Knicks, so I was that's pretty much how it started, really. And then I watched all his old stuff and everything, and I don't know, that's pretty much it. And then what's the other one? His favorite moment?
Most underrated Melo moment or game, however you want to take it.
Of all time, or just this year?
No, all time in your opinion.
Probably when he beat the Heat. When he got beat the Big Three with 42 in the playoffs. I think that doesn't go noticed enough. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, when they were about to get swept, he had to put them on his back, of course.
That was the Amari fire extinguisher game. Series. Phillips was out, and that was when Miami was at their fucking peak. Yeah,
and then the year after, or whatever, they should have beat the Pacers. They would have beat them too in the finals or whatever. It happens, bro.
I agree. Yo, that's something I talk about all the time, and I think I've said this once or twice on the podcast before, but I had a friend who was a Heat fan. A lot of people were Heat fans back then, but one of my friends in high school, Dylan, shout out Dylan if you're watching this right now, but I remember he was a diehard Wade fan, so obviously when all that shit happened, he was hyped. And I remember we were talking back in the day, and sometimes I still see him around every few years, and we always talk about it. I'm like, bro, if the Knicks got past the Pacers, he was like, no, you have no idea. I wanted the Pacers to win so bad. I did not want to see Melo in the Knicks, and to this day, it's just something I look back at, and I'm just like,
that was so elite.
Bro, if only fucking Melo didn't get blocked. If only JR wasn't out partying with Rihanna the night before playoff games. If only Tyson Chandler didn't get fucked up by Roy Hibbert. There was just so many ifs. But yeah, that's a good one. That entire game, right? Because he also hit the dagger. Wasn't a game-winning shot, but it was the dagger.
No, I'm pretty sure he got fouled or something first. Yeah, he hit the dagger first, and he got fouled on the three or something after.
Yeah, that was a good game. Good game.
Yeah,
good one. All right. We're recording this Tuesday, March 16th at 8:20. The big news of the day and really the week around Blazer World is that CJ McCollum is making his long-awaited return for the Portland Trail Blazers tonight in New Orleans. They're playing in an hour and a half. So if you're listening to this, we didn't see how he played. Relax. This is before the game. With him coming back, we've obviously all been waiting for him to come back for a minute. What does he bring to this team, in your opinion, that they've been missing over the past, 2 months?
Something like that. Another ball dominant player. Whenever Dame gets trapped, when Melo's on the court, who's gonna pass to Derrick Jones or Covington? You need another guy like that. It makes no sense. Like when he comes back, he could take over the offense, like help the flow and everything when Dame's not even on the court. Like unlike Simons at point guard, like he's bad. CJ knows what he's doing.
In terms of like playmaking and shit, right?
Playmaking, scoring, everything.
Yeah.
Besides his defense, though. Defense is bad.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think like the number one thing is like you have another option out on the court there. And I think the most frustrating part of the past 2 fucking months was they had another option, Melo, and like yes, they gave him the ball and they ran the offense to him sometimes, but when you have those guys that you just talked about, Simons, and then like even Gary Trent and all these, like they're not playmakers. They can score, sure, they can get their own shot, they could spot up, but they're not going to make plays, and they're not going to. Like CJ was literally having a career year before he got hurt.
This was the best year ever.
Best year of his career so far, and he was putting up like 28 a game, but even just like him putting up 28 a game opened so fucking much up for the offense and other guys on the team, which I think is an underrated thing. Like people are like, oh, Melo never passed the ball. Well, guess what? He was putting up 29 points a game in his prime, and when you do that, people's games like it opens up the game for other people, whether it's a spot up shot from Novak or Chauncey Billups or whatever the case is.
And to this day, Melo still gets doubled. Like Terry didn't realize this, so it's like what?
Year 18, that's wild shit, right? Off the bench,
Yeah,
which is wild. So, yeah, man, I think what they've been missing is another guy that they can trust with the ball in his hands, and like
another thing when CJ was out, and like I hate when Simons brought up the ball. I don't know why Melo doesn't bring up the ball. He actually looks like it's probably at his best when he brings it up.
And even like just getting the ball to him at the 3-point line, running a pick and roll. Him and fucking Cantor, like it's I don't say it's unstoppable, but it's effective. Like it's so effective, and I didn't understand why. I said that on the podcast like a month ago. I was like, bro, they need a backup.
I was gonna say I also hate when like Rodney Hood takes up the ball. It's just so ugly to watch. I like so disgusting.
It just never ends up positively. So I said that like a month ago. I was like, bro, they don't have a backup point guard. They need somebody to orchestrate the offense. Simons isn't it. I say this all the time. Simons isn't a bad player. Like he's not somebody who's like not an NBA player or not a rotation piece. He's just so not what the Blazers need in terms of.
They need like a pure point guard.
They need a pure point guard, and CJ's obviously not a pure point guard, but he could run the offense way better than Simons does, and he hits his shots and he scores more points. So that goes without saying. But yeah, man, I think just having another option out there, and then also like you said, the playmaking ability that he has, he's not going to average 8 assists. I'm actually curious to how many assists he was averaging this year before he got hurt, because like we said,
around 5 or 6.
Was it 5 or 6? 5, exactly 5. So 5 assists. That's going to be huge for the offense. And like I always say, this team defensively, and we'll get into defense in a little bit. This team defensively is not going to hold people to under 100 points. It's not going to hold people to 105 points. Their best chance to win is literally like they did in the bubble: go out and outscore the other team. Fuck trying to stop them and put them under 100 points. Just go out and outscore them. And CJ is obviously a huge part of that. So really excited to see that. Real quick, what do you think that means for Melo in terms of shots and just opportunity?
I mean, depends. Is he still gonna get like his 30 minutes a game? Like when I mean, like he doesn't even really get that, but like I mean when like I don't even know what I'm saying, to be honest. But wait, what was the question again? How's Melo's shots going to be?
With CJ coming back, like
it's probably going to be the same, to be honest. Unless like
you think so?
Because Simon shoots regardless, so like it's going to be the same shit when Melo's in with CJ.
Yeah. I think so. You don't think it's going to affect Melo's opportunities at all?
It shouldn't, but when Nurkic comes back, I don't know. Because Nurkic, I don't know the playing time there. But I think it's going to be the same with CJ here. Who do you think is going to start? Derek Jones or Gary when he comes back?
That's a good question. I think Gary probably goes back to the bench. And I think because opening day, that was the starting lineup. It was Dame, CJ, Jones.
I hope Gary still starts, though.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep shooting all the shots on the bench when I was like,
yeah,
be annoying.
Great point. For me, like, it obviously will probably mean less opportunity in my mind, in my opinion, for Melo. But at the end of the day, if he gets like 2 or 3 shots less a game and they start winning more games, I'll fucking take that any day of the week. So yeah, just want to touch on that real quick. But another pretty big story that I feel like has kind of gone under the radar, and I'm not like in Blazer Twitter like that, even though I kind of am. But the Blazers ownership group is apparently worried about Terry Stotts, the Blazers coach, ability to coach defense. There's like some rumblings that like shit. They're like, we got to start paying attention to this. What can they do on that end to be in the top half of the league in defense, which is Stotts? It was funny. I saw some stat on Twitter that was like Stotts coming out of the All-Star break made a challenge to the Blazers. He was like,
I saw that too.
He was like, yo, I want us to be the top half of teams in defense.
And they got
not
like
a top
worse.
5 team, and they're like fucking 29th in the NBA in like only 3 games, but 2 of the games were to the worst team in the NBA. I think the Wolves are the worst team.
It's disgusting they lost to them.
Bro, terrible. That last loss pissed me the fuck off. Like,
Melo started the game like 4 for 5, and like then he didn't get his mid range or anything. He just like last shot 3, just ugly.
It's the same shit. But talking about defense, what do you think they can do on defense, if anything, to be in the top half of the league, like Terry Stotts wants?
I think Enes Kanter has to play less. To be honest, I think he has his moments, yeah, but like he's like a bad defender. They need better rotations. I don't really know what else, to be honest. I'm not good with all that defense type.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yo,
they just need like nice stretches with like Covington and Jones together or something.
They do.
I don't know. That's all that really matters in this league. Stretches of nice dude.
Dude, there's some times where they play together and like I see the vision that the Blazers had when they put those guys together.
Yeah.
But again, sometimes it's in stretches. But for me,
they get like raped a lot, so like annoying. So I don't even know they're out there.
Dude, it's crazy. But for me, man, like if we're talking like strategy and shit, obviously what they've been doing isn't working. So they've been pretty much switching everything. They're trying to play one-on-one. They rarely double team. They rarely run zone. They rarely like switch shit up. So for me, and like even being more aggressive, like Stotts telling their guys, go for more steals. Even if they, they're going to get beat on some plays, whatever. Just the little thought that the other team has in their head of, shit, I might not be able to make this pass because Gary Trent might jump the lane because, Melo has been taught to like, yo, forget about this guy. Whatever the case is, do something so that it's not the same shit over and over and over again, because like you see it, like teams do this. They get one pick and they get Cantor on the point guard. They get Cantor on Curry. Yeah. They get Melo again. We talk about this all the time. Melo's not a bad defender, decent defender, but it's hard for him to guard. It's hard for literally anybody to guard Kyrie Irving. So it's like little things like that where I'm just like, damn, the switching and this man-to-man obviously is not working when Enes Kanter is out on the court. When Nurkic comes back, that's one thing, but I feel like they haven't even tried anything else, and that to me is frustrating, and it could be why the Blazers ownership group is worried, because it's not like Stotts is doing anything revolutionary and it's not working. Like he's doing the same shit he's been doing and it's not working. So like what the fuck's going to change?
Yeah, they should be worried, to be honest.
They should, and he's been with the Blazers for a while. They have never been a great defensive team like that, and it just goes back to offense. Like, all right, then outscore them. Well, how are you trying to outscore them when Derrick Jones Jr. and Robert Covington are in the starting lineup? Like, you just depend on.
Sense. And then you see Dame getting trapped. It's like so, like it's so annoying,
bro. And especially over the last month or two, month and a half, 2 months with no CJ. When he was getting trapped in the starting lineup was out there, Gary Trent, like, yes, he could get his own shot a little bit, but like Derrick Jones Jr. is not going to be able to fucking play make. Robert Covington, for the most part, not going to be able to play make. Cantor, if he gets the ball at the free throw line, not going to be able to play make. So it just doesn't make sense. And it's like, bro, fucking try something.
And then he takes like 3 minutes to put like Melo back in, like have another guy. It's like, just put him right away.
It's wild. It's wild shit. All right, with that being said, this is kind of the same topic, but also you could take this any way you want. For me, when I watch the Blazers, I don't watch Terry Stotts. When I watch the Blazers, there's a lot of times where they just don't adjust as quickly, or even in general, they don't adjust at all to other teams. And you see other teams like what the Blazers do in the first half, other teams go in the locker rooms and they make adjustments.
Terry Stotts only had like one game like that versus like Curry, where he's like charged trafficking. That was it. That was his only game ever.
Yeah, and then he scored 62. Is that the game you're talking about?
No, the last one where he like 20 at half and ended with like 26 or something. But the 62, he didn't even adjust that game either though.
So I'm guessing by your answer right there, you are not confident in Terry Stotts' ability to adjust. And like, have you seen anything where you like the Curry thing or something where you're like, damn, bro, like he should have seen this, I saw it, or anything like that?
I mean that was the only game I like remember of him doing anything really. Every other game he just keeps the same thing the whole game. It's like, bro, like, and then like everyone's like, and you see all like the comments and they're like, fire him, leave him there. It's like, yeah, for real though. It's like,
and bro, both ends of the court too. It's not just defense.
Yeah, they run the same set. Just like it's annoying. It's either the ISO or like that set where like they're like running double screen or something like that, and they pass or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah,
they need like something new.
Yeah, and for me, watching that Blazers game, the Blazer game, the Blazer game. Watching that Timberwolves game, the second one, I tweeted a stat. It was something like, if I could find it real quick, I definitely should have had this ready. So my fucking bad for everybody who's listening to me stall while I try to find this tweet right now. But Rodney Hood came into the game with 8 minutes, 18 seconds left in the fourth quarter. He had 1 assist and 0 shots made, 0 shots attempted in almost 7 minutes of action in the fourth quarter. So Rodney Hood, he's in there for his offense. Like, he's not in there to lock people down. He's in there for his offense to try to play make. Last year, he was leading the league in three-point shooting, I'm pretty sure, before he went out. This year hasn't looked like the same guy, obviously. But he's in there for 7 minutes while Anthony Edwards is going the fuck off. Obviously, young career, but career high 34 points. And he had Derrick Jones Jr. on the bench.
Yeah, I actually said that when I was watching the game. Like, bro, just like it makes no sense. Like, what are you doing? And like
Derrick Jones Jr. again, he's not like a lockdown defender, but he's a fucking better defender than Rodney Hood is at this point. And for Derrick Jones Jr. to come in at 1:36 left in the fourth, in the last minute and a half, they were like, "We need somebody to stop this guy. Like, Rodney Hood's not doing it. Let's try Derrick." It's like, how do you not see that? Like, how do you not see that this rookie is going the fuck off and Rodney Hood is not doing it? Like, I don't even care who it is, whether it's Gary Trent or whether it's Derrick Jones Jr. or fucking who they don't try different shit. And I think that's so frustrating. Forget like in-game adjustments, but just like game-to-game adjustments, season-to-season adjustments. It's like you don't see it with this Blazers team. Even on offense, like I was just saying, it's always your turn, my turn. Dame should get way more open looks than he does. You see how many open looks Curry gets, and Curry is literally the greatest shooter of all time.
Because they let Dame just have the ball the whole game. They don't run off ball for him.
The whole time. And then when they do off ball it for him, they'll set an off ball screen. He'll get the ball, and then it'll be in a pick and roll situation. He'll get it instead of bringing it up and being a pick and roll. It'll be a pick and roll. Not in the corner, but elbow line extended at the 3-point line. So it's like he gets maybe 1 or 2 spot up shots a game. And I don't understand it. I don't know what fucking analytics they're looking at, what strategy they're thinking of, but I'm not a Blazers fan, but rooting for this team right now, it's really frustrating watching them play.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Hopefully CJ opens shit up for everybody, but the past 2 months have been rough. And to their credit, to the team's credit, they've stayed alive. That was the one thing we said, CJ's out, Nurk's out. But
the thing is, they're still good enough to win though. So like, I don't get that like stay alive narrative though.
Fair, that's fair.
I think their team's like so good. And I hate when people say Nurk is like their third best player. Like Melo's like, he's not a bum. He's not a scrub. It's like, bro, what?
Yeah.
Dennis Kanter is very capable of doing what Nurkic does. They still have this, like, I don't know, man.
Can't pass for shit. Kanter can't pass for
shit. Yeah, no one on the team passes, to be honest, besides Melo, really.
Bro, he would unlock a huge part of his game, and his Kanter I'm talking about, if he learned how to pass the ball. There's so many times he gets the ball in a pick and roll situation, and 3 guys come in at him, and he still goes up for the shot when Melo's in the corner or Gary Trent's in the, like, so many times. And like once a game he'll find them, but yeah, I feel you on that.
Yeah.
All right, let's focus a little more on Melo now. we spoke about it a tiny bit, but in terms of playmaking ability, what has Melo shown you in year 18? Again, we're talking about a guy in the 18th year of his career, coming off the bench and still being able to play make. Kind of like, what do you think about that?
I mean, if I'm being honest, this is what I always seen from him. It's just he finally has other people that could actually do something with the ball. You know, like
Yeah.
it's nothing new. It's like the same thing. He's just
Yeah.
older, but like the same thing pretty much.
Instead of passing to Eduardo Nahara in Denver or Jason Smith or Samuel Dallenberg in New York, it's Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum and Yusuf Nurkic and shit. That's fair. Like that's a fair statement. I remember, you know what a hockey
Even Nasir Little is like kind of elite now. When
Who?
he's like Nasir Little,
Yeah, he's
I
been
actually like
alright.
seeing him.
He's been all right. It's funny because like they were talking about hockey assists in New York, and like if Melo's teammates had made shots, not that he would be one of the leading passers in the league, but like he would have like 5 or 6 assists a game.
Yeah,
And it's just crazy. And like that's a fair point. I didn't even think about it like that. You know, when you're Melo and you're passing to scrubs for the majority of his time in New York, and there were a lot of scrubs in Denver too. Like he was just that good that he was carrying them. But great point. I just think like coming off the bench in year 18 and being double teamed and still making the right play. Like he's had games over the past few games where he's put up 5, 6 assists. Like it's nothing. And I'm like, bro, like why don't they run the offense through him solely? They don't have a backup point guard. It's not like they have a guy.
That's why I hate when they run through Simons and Hoods. Like, what are they gonna do with the ball? No one's gonna double them or do anything versus them.
No, and those guys aren't like Ricky Rubio, bro. He would be a perfect fit for that second unit, just coming out and just playmaking, like
or like a Rondo or something, like someone good. Even though Rondo sucks this year, but like
yeah, like anybody who can playmake. And you know when Melo makes these passes, like out of double teams, you know, across the court, or you know, even just a little shovel pass, like he always is a willing passer. He's always been a willing passer, and it's just really impressive. And he'll never get enough credit for his passing because he never averaged more than I think it was like 4.2 assists a game. But he's always been a good passer, and you know whether it's one guy had to pass to another guy or people just weren't hitting shots, the fact that he's still doing that in year 18 to me is an underrated part of it.
Yeah, of course. So elite.
Yep. All right. The second last question we have is about Hakeem Olajuwon and Carmelo. Melo recently passed Hakeem Olajuwon for 11th all time on the NBA scoring list. We're coming towards that top 10. He's going to be top 10 by the end of the season for sure. If he averages like, I think it's like 11 or 12 points for the rest of the season. He's averaging like 14, so he'll get there. What can you say about Melo passing Hakeem on the all-time scoring list and like, you know, nearing that top 10? Just what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's amazing, of course, but he should have done it earlier. Too bad the Rockets like screwed and everything.
Yeah.
Like Melo's a legend. Nothing else you could expect. Like you know.
And yeah, he should have done it earlier. And
I don't know why the Rockets gave up on that either. Like they were easily going to be like finals contenders or like Western Conference. Like I don't get it. It's weird.
Bro, they seriously could have competed with the Warriors in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They could have seriously competed. I don't care what anybody says. I think they lost like what 4-2 that year.
Yeah, that year, yeah, something like that.
And I mean, you think just the threat of Melo, the shot making, the playmaking of them, of him alone gets them one fucking game. Anyway, yeah, I think what's even more impressive than doing it, you know, with that year off is doing it after the year off. So I think, again, and you know, we've been talking about this for the past fucking year plus, but doing all this shit after sitting home for over 12 months, obviously stayed in shape and all that, but like coming back and still being fucking elite. Like it would be one thing if he came out and like wasn't shooting well or wasn't playing well or just wasn't a shell of the guy he was even in fucking OKC. Like that'd be one thing if he was like passing these guys, averaging like Vince Carter, right? If Vince Carter was putting up fucking 4 points a game.
Yeah.
Going on record as saying Vince Carter is one of the most overrated players of this generation. I like him. An all-time legend. It was crazy to me. Like he got this crazy farewell tour that matched Dirk Nowitzki's. And Dirk Nowitzki is the 6th highest scorer of all time, NBA champion, and Vince Carter got all this love. Anyway,
I'm glad Paul Pierce didn't get the love that he thought he would have got.
Literally my most hated player of all time. I was hyped about that.
I hate when people compare him and Melo. I don't get it.
You know what my favorite clip of all time, basketball clip of all, funniest. I'm not gonna say favorite. The funniest clip of all time, Paul Pierce, near the end of his career, bro. Like this guy, you know.
Are you talking about the one with Draymond Green?
No. That one's good too. When he was like, "They don't love you like that."
Yeah.
No. I'm talking about Paul Pierce, a guy who's going to go into the Hall of Fame. Obviously, an all-time great scorer, NBA champion. He was Finals MVP, I'm pretty sure. All that shit. Throws his headband into the crowd, like two rows
I think I
up into the
remember
crowd,
this.
and fucking someone
threw it
takes it
back,
and
right?
throws it right back at him. Bro, the disrespect in that would just fucking made my life because, you know, I'm a Knicks fan, so he fucked the Knicks up for years and years, and just like to be like, yo, this Hall of Famer threw me his headband. I don't want this shit. Here, and fucking throws it at him. Not even like puts it on throws it at him. Like, get this shit the fuck out of my face. Is it
felt like such a loser.
All-time clip for me. But yeah, man, just Melo, those 12 months off and still coming back, being effective, he's not gonna win 6th man of the year, but being a 6th man of the year candidate. And adjusting and just all.
But he's getting his points up, so hopefully, like something happens. I don't know. And in my opinion, he's better than he was like 5 years ago. In the shape and body and like his like skills, in my opinion.
Dude,
he was on like last year with the Knicks or something.
A lot of people say that. Oh yeah, 2016, 17. That was 5 years ago.
Something like that, yeah.
Well, 16 was 5 years ago. Yeah, man. So I just think like it's great. He's passing all these names, but just doing it after all he's fucking overcome, to me, has been the wildest shit, and just like mad props and respect. And once he gets top 10, I think that will really open people's eyes. Like, holy shit, like this guy is like a real deal. And you know, I'm not gonna lie, I have like cards of Melos, like rookie cards that like I'm waiting for that top 10 so I can sell that shit at his people when people fucking realize. But yeah, man, that to me was the biggest thing, just like coming back and still climbing and being able to do what he's done.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Zaid. We've reached the end of this podcast. At the end of every podcast, you know what we like to do? We like to give our guests an opportunity to control a narrative. Doesn't have to be Melo related, doesn't have to be basketball related, doesn't have to be sports related, but I'm going to give you the floor and let you control a narrative.
Oh, it's still gonna be about Melo, obviously, for me. I'm just gonna say like people think he's actually just like a rotation like player and like whatever player there. I think he's still like a star talent, you know, star athlete and everything. I don't know. He doesn't get like credit for being like still good at this age and everything. I think he's still like good enough to carry like the Kings to the playoffs right now. I don't know, something like that.
That's a bold take. I know a lot of people have like talked about that. Like, yo.
And he's also he could still average 20 in this game. I think it's obvious.
That's a great point. That's a good one. I like that. Carrying the Kings to the playoffs. I think the Kings need a lot more than Melo to be in the playoffs in the West, but
something like that. It's just like one of those teams.
I like that confidence. Yeah, but I agree, man. I think that, you know, given the opportunity, even at 36, he can put up 20 efficiently.
Yeah.
He obviously still gets double teamed, so he can still find the open man. He puts up 5-6 assists some games when the opportunities are there. So I think that's a good one. I agree. I think he the thing to me is when guys get old and shit like that, and you can really start thinking like, damn, like they're slowing down, is when they can't get their shot off anymore. Like obviously Vince Carter, right? I'm gonna go back to Vince. He was still shooting threes at the end of his career. Probably
he could do that. So like some like nice shots like that, but like Melo still does it every game, every play.
Melo still does every game, but what he does every game is get his own shot.
Yeah.
No matter what anybody does, whether he wants to do a little pump faking and lean into the guy and get 2 free throws, or fade away left shoulder, fade away right, like whatever he wants to do, he gets it. And at 36 to still be able to do that is wild. It shows the fucking skill that he has. That, you know, he's not that Denver bully anymore where he's just going and going in the lane, pushing everyone out his way and getting to the cup. He's not that New York Melo anymore, where he was quick as hell and his first step was nobody could do anything. He's a dude who like it's all skill, it's all footwork, and you'll never lose that, and that's why a lot of people think and thought years ago that he'll be able to play for a long time because he's skilled. He doesn't rely on his body, and
that's what people used to say a lot.
I like that. That's a good one. All right, Zaid. I appreciate you taking some time out and hopping on here. For those people listening on Spotify, Apple Music. God damn, I'm fucking off my shit today. Spotify or Apple Podcasts. You want to like just vocally say your ad or whatever, so people can hit you on Twitter and Instagram and follow you.
We're talking about me.
Yeah.
All right. My ad is at ZZZZ 4Zs AID 24 on Twitter.
No doubt, man. All right, bro. I appreciate you hopping on, taking some time out, and also just being in the replies and fucking interacting with us all the time on Twitter and shit like that. I was just saying always in the fucking replies, and not always in the replies, just like saying some stupid shit, but like there's been a lot of times where I looked at your shit and I'm like, bro, he knows what the fuck he's talking about. So appreciate you taking some time out.
There's just so many people that don't.
That's why we fucking have to have the show. You think I like doing the show? Like I fucking hate. I'm just kidding. Yeah, man. Thanks again, dude, and we'll see you around Twitter.
All right, thank you.
All right, peace.